According to a Gallup survey, 47% of US populations are members of some religious institutions. Another way of putting this is that less than half of the United States is a member of a religious congregation. 2 decades ago, the percentage was above 70%. Experts say that many millennials turn away from religion due to the mixing of right-wing politics and Christianity. Professor of the University of Notre Dame's political science department, David Campbell, stated that this decline is, quote, an allergic reaction to the religious right. His research shows that an increasing number of Americans have moved away from religion as politicians, mainly Republicans, have combined faith with their politics. Campbell says that the current decline is likely to continue. Democrats are opting out of organized religion as religion has been closely linked with conservative politics. Co-founder of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, Laurie Gaylor, said that the Gallup data suggests the U.S. is moving positively. She mentioned that even though the American Constitution forbids any test of religion for public office, politicians virtually have to wear religion on their sleeve to be elected.
Wait, so are we saying that, like, we are happy with Trump's administration for finally having a positive influence for once? Like, is this actually us acknowledging that Trump did something good? Like, Trump is like helping us get rid of religion because of how bad they were?
It's not exclusive to Trump.
I just want to have an excuse to be.
You just want to say thank you, Daddy Trump. That's what you want to say.
Thank you, Trump.
Orange man, do something good.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought this was really interesting. So, hey, Thomas is saying Dan Barker plays piano music to good news about low church attendance. Yeah. This is pretty interesting. So, because last week we talked about the decline in church membership, I thought it was interesting to have this perspective or analysis on what might be driving some of that drop in membership.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more Blasphemous Art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest Blasphemous Art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.
And I think an allergic reaction to the religious right is a very good way of putting it. People are, granted, I live in one of the most liberal, just straight up very leftist areas in the country, have very strong reactions to like conservative evangelicism. And I think especially younger people are seeing the way that people in other more liberal parts of the country are living and what they get to do, and not having the government as up in their business on personal decisions regarding various things. And they don't like, or maybe even the tone of the way some of these politicians talk about things. Rivka.
So a couple things that I think are really, I want to talk about. The 20% of all Americans classify themselves as none, as in not, no religion, and a third of Americans under 30. So that's significant. That makes people who are either non-religious, secular, or don't adhere to any religious group the largest minority in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, this thing I think that we can really use as secularists, as humanists, as people who are themselves against this theocratic creep. But I also think it's interesting that they bring up, and so because they bring this point up, I'm going to talk about it. So I think it's interesting. They're right that there's a lot of religiosity associated with the GOP and the evangelical conservatives and that religiosity. But I think there's an equal amount of evangelical fervor, and it has shaped itself almost to be a religion among some of the Wokistani and that far end of it, So I think it's interesting because where are these young people going to go? Which religion? The conservative right and established religion and trying to control what you do, and then maybe the left new religion trying to control what you think. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic, because if they're allergic to government and religion, let's hope they're allergic to the both versions of it.
That's a very good point. Armin, do you have any commentary on this?
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is that this is religious right getting in power is what actually gets atheists finally motivated to become politically active. But I mean, I wish it didn't take that extremism, that level of extreme, like, in other countries as well, because usually atheists, like, they just when they leave their religion, they feel like, what, why should I be active in politics and stuff? That's what religious people do, and then they just stay out of politics until they realize that their politics is being dominated by a small minority of religious people being able to control, force their way on the rest of their lives, and then, like, it really has to hit the fan before they realize, like, oh my god, yeah, we can't let this be. And by the way, the damage, again, this is a silver lining, but it's a very narrow silver lining, because the damage, I'm kidding when I say thank you, Trump and stuff, because the damage that these people do to society is a lot more. Like, this is just like trying to clean up after the mess. You know what I mean? Like, Trump is out of office, but how many Supreme Court has he picked that is going to continue to do damage to society for years to come? Like, this is a reaction, but it's not worth the cost. Like, I used to, I grew up in Iran, and so many people who are anti-religious in Iran tell me, like, what, it's good that people picked an Islamic government because now they see what it's like to live under Islam. I'm like, no, it's not good. It's not. What are you talking about? It's good. It's not. It's not. It's not good at all. It's
thousands of people who were executed under that state. I'm sure they would love to hear that.
It's like, you know what? It's so great that I'm being beaten up right now by 5 people at the same time. I'm on the floor, like my teeth are breaking in and I'm bleeding out of my nose. This is so good, because I appreciate the fact that most other times I'm not being beaten up by 5 people. This is such a pleasant experience, because now I see how great it is when I finally manage to get at least one of these people to stop beating me up. Yeah, Susie.
So I thought this was interesting. David Campbell, this professor, is the co-author of a book that now I really want to read. It's called Secular Surge, A New Fault Line in American Politics. And some of his commentary on this I thought was very interesting. He says, quote, "Many Americans, especially young people, see religion as bound up in political conservatism, and the Republican Party specifically. Since that is not their party or their politics, they do not want to identify as being religious. Young people are especially allergic to the perception that many, but by no means all, American religions are hostile to LGBTQ rights." So I thought that this was very interesting. It's kind of like backward reasoning. It's like, I don't like your politics. I see you as being the most religious or the most firm or willing to push your religious beliefs on other people. And therefore, because I don't like your politics and you seem to be the most religious, I no longer want to be religious. I thought that was interesting.
That's interesting. And I also think what's interesting is the point about a lot of young people, the way they now think, the millennial generation and the next one, whatever that's called, Y or something, I don't know.
Gen Z.
Z.
The Zoomers.
The Zoomers. So I think that that's a real truism. I mean, even in places that I know people are more traditionally conservative, or it's a more tradition-minded society, area of the United States, especially, young people do not care for the most part about people's, whether, their sexual orientation. They also seem not to care about mixed race couples or children. They don't seem to care about a lot of the issues that a lot of the old guard religious people are able to rile people up behind. It's just not like, it's so then to them, because so many of their peers and what they see and what they talk about has they've been moving along with the country, while these other people are kind of still living in, this little tiny circle 6,000 years ago in the Middle East.
Yeah. And I think, this is kind of good news. He continues saying, I see no sign that the religious right and Christian nationalism is fading, which in turn suggests that the allergic reaction will be continue to be seen, and thus more and more Americans will turn away from religion.
Which is exactly what you just said, Armin.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Keep it up as long as we push back well.
Hey guys, YouTube has fully demonetized our channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct, without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists, without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.